I go into facilities where they have old, worn out floors. They have floors that may be 20 or 30 years old. They're considering replacing them, which is a fairly, in most cases, it's a fairly big project for them. It would be a major renovation. So I propose to them to come in and restore their floors to make them look new again versus replacement. So I can come in and change the color of the ceramic tile or porcelain tile completely, or I can renew it, re-grout. I have pigmented sealers that I can apply into the grout to change the color of the grout. And I use Covertec products for the final finish, if you will. It's and it's the icing on the cake. I can redo the floor, clean it as good as I can, and I can seal it permanently with GlazeGuard Gloss or GlazeGuard Satin or GlazeGuard Matte, and it really adds that new look to the floor again. I researched a lot of different products, a lot of different urethanes, a lot of micro coatings, just you name it. I've tried it out in different areas. And none of the products that I researched performed nearly as well, not anywhere close to GlazeGuard. So GlazeGuard does what it says in the way that it bonds to the ceramic, it bonds to porcelain, it bonds to almost any type of surface that you want to put it on. Just making sure that you prep that surface correctly. It will bond, and it performs. It performs just like Charles says it does. There's quite a few benefits after I apply GlazeGuard to the floor. So just the number one that hits most people is the wow factor. So they go into the floor, say it's a restroom or a kitchen, commercial restroom. They go in there the following morning when I was restoring the floor the previous night. And overnight they have a new looking floor. So when they walk into the room, the first is aesthetically, it looks new again. It looks new, it pops, and it gives them the wow factor. So that's the number one, that's the goal. That's the goal for the first impression that they get. But aside from that, they also have a lot of sanitary benefits. So I'm in commercial flooring, mostly restrooms. So we all know the liquids and the spills and everything associated with a restroom floor, especially in a commercial environment. The coating, GlazeGuard, protects the grout so that all those spills and splashes and liquids don't make their way into the grout. Bare grout will readily absorb any liquid that hits it if it's not properly sealed. Most places will go with a impregnating type sealer, which is fine and good, but the ultimate seal is a topical sealant that you can apply, and that will stay there for years and years and years. And GlazeGuard does that. So not only is it the wow factor as far as looks go, it makes the floor non-porous, so it doesn't absorb any liquids any longer. In a lot of cases, the slip resistance is better than it was before, because you're removing all the old contaminants, and the floor is now squeaky clean with the coating, and the slip coefficient is better after the fact. And not only that, the smells associated with a commercial kitchen, commercial restroom, the smells are no longer an issue, because all of those surfaces that had absorbed contaminants throughout the years is now prepped and sealed off, and any spills can be easily wiped up. There probably is, over the long term, a reduction in the long term maintenance costs, because here's what it is. So typically in a commercial environment, floors are maintained quarterly. So they do a heavy machine scrub quarterly, whether it's a janitorial company or an outside contractor. They very well may be able to lower that to once or twice a year versus 4 times a year. I do know that the daily upkeep, the sweep and mop that the janitorial company would do is, while they still need to do those steps, I'm sure the results that they're achieving are much better because the coating is so much easier to clean than the existing floor. The ceramic and grout, they can work all they want with a string mop, and they don't get the best of results. But if the coating is in place, the coating mops away easily. Any soiling that happens on the coating mops away. I do a variety. I do everything that you just mentioned and then some. So I do granite, any kind of natural stone, marble, terrazzo, LVT, VCT, sheet vinyl, pretty much any kind of hard surface that you walk on. And Charles has helped me out with a number of those since the time I've known him. I had a client that had an interior space, large commercial interior space, and he has a polished concrete floor, polished to a smooth gloss finish. And he was having issues with the just over the years after he got it polished, it was just looking dull and kind of worn out. It wasn't holding up too well. So instead of going through the expense of repolishing the floor, we were able to prep the floor, clean it basically thoroughly, and apply, I can't think of the name of the product now. It's it's brand new. It's his micro coating. The one that comes to mind is actually GlazeGuard exterior. We applied GlazeGuard to some exterior stones, paver stones, and we were able to darken up the stone a little bit because its exterior had a little bit of a washed out look. So the GlazeGuard was able to give the colors a little bit more vibrancy and just brighten them up and look nice. And it gave it water repellency and just a nice fresh look to it. Covertec has such a pretty large variety of coatings. Do a little bit of research, contact them, ask for their recommendation and for your particular situation, and really think about what you're trying to achieve by putting the coating on the surface, and then follow their recommendation, and that means not just of what product to use, but also the prep process, because just like painting a wall or painting a car or anything you're going to put a coating on, it's 90% of success is in the prep. The 10% is in the application of the product. And then of course you want the product to be able to perform the way that you expect it to, and Covertec products do perform that way.